Hello, children. Welcome to math class. So, today we are talking about adding and subtracting fractions. We're dealing with how do we add fractions, how do we subtract fractions. We're getting into a whole section all about fractions. So, today we're starting easy with some adding and subtracting. So, starting off nice and easy, if we were to go something like 3/10 plus 1/10, and we wanted to add that up. A few things we want to look for here. We want to look to see, are our denominators the same? If they are, our answer will have that same denominator. So since these are both 10, our answer will have 10 as the denominator as well. We can always add and subtract as long as the denominator is the same. And if the denominator is the same, then we're just going to do whatever operation it says. This one says add. We're going to add our two values here. 3 plus 1 is 4, which becomes our new numerator. And our answer is 4/10, which simplifies down to 2/5. Right? We talk about simplifying our fractions. Love to simp. So 2/5 would be the solution to this. If our denominators are the same, we just add or subtract our top numbers. We have something like 7/9 minus 4/9. Denominators are the same here, 9 and 9. That gives us a fraction, the denominator 9. 7 minus 4 is 3. 3/9 simplifies to 1/3. And there is our answer. It's as easy peasy, lemon, cheesy, squeezy as that. Unless, sorry guys, it's not always as easy peasy, cheesy, squeezy as that. What is not going to work is if we have something like 3/8 plus 5/12. This is not going to work as well as we had thought. When we are adding and subtracting, we have different denominators. There is going to be some more math we got to do, and we need to get common denominators. We want our denominators to be the same. So there are two ways that we can do that. One way is to find the LCM, the least common multiple of 8 and 12. Now, least common multiple of 8 and 12, and that can work. This one I think would happen to be 24. So we would say instead of 3/8, 3/8 equals how many 24ths? Well, 8 times 3 is 24. Do something to the bottom, same thing to the top. 3 times 3 is 9. 3/8 equals 9 24ths. 5/12. In order to get from 12 to 24, we times by 2. Do the same on top. We get 10. We get 10 24ths. And now this problem looks like 9 24ths plus 10 24ths, which is 19 24ths. And there would be our answer. That's one way that we can do this. If you feel good about doing least common multiple, we did that last chapter. We talked about finding least common multiple, where you do your prime factorization and you multiply the things and you group the things and all the things, and you get our least common multiple. That's one way to do it. Another way that you can do this, let's say we had something like 7/10 minus 5/8. Another way you could do this is you could take your denominator of one number and multiply it by both values of your second fraction. So take your first denominator and multiply your whole second fraction by it and say, all right, well, what is 10 times 5? 10 times 5 is 50 over 10 times 8 is 80. Okay, And then we take our second denominator and multiply everything on the first fraction by our second denominator. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 10 is 80. I now have a problem with common denominators. And I'm going to say, well, 56 minus 50 is 6 over 80. That can be simplified to 3 over 40, which would be my final answer. The common denominators gets a little bit tricky sometimes. That's where we have to put a lot of focus. So there's two ways to do it. One, you can find the LCM. I think this way is easier. I think it's easier to just multiply each fraction by the opposite denominator. Okay, another example of that, because I know that's confusing. Another example might be, I don't know, let's say 1/3 plus 1/5. Okay, we're going to take our first fraction and multiply both values by our second denominator. Take our second fraction, multiply both values by our first denominator, and get a new equation of 5/15 plus 3/15. Remember, whatever we do to one side of a fraction, we have to do to the other. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8. Man, that was almost an embarrassing situation. Over 15 would be our answer to 1/3 plus 1/5. All right. What if I had negative 2/3 plus 7/8. Negative 2/3 plus 7/8. First thing I want to do, common denominators. I'm not going to worry about this negative yet. I'm just going to give me common denominators. Times this fraction by 3, times this fraction by 8, and I'm going to get 16/24, negative 16/24, plus 21/24. Common denominators means my answer has a denominator of 24. And now what I'm left with is I'm left with the math problem, negative 16 plus 21. Who remembers negative numbers? What do we do when we have one negative plus one positive? We subtract them. And we say, all right, I have more positives, so my answer will be positive. And then I'm going to subtract 21 minus 16. Borrow here. 11 minus 6 is 5. So I have a grand total of 5/24, and I leave it positive because I have more positives. And 5/24 is going to be my answer. All right. I want you to solve this math problem, and then you are good to go. And I will see you all tomorrow in class. 3/4 plus 2/3. Good luck.